Ladies and gentlemen, there are two kinds of people in this world: the ones who surrender when life gets tough, and the ones who rise, not because the path is easy, but because their mindset refuses to let them fall. The winners are not those who never failed. They are the ones who looked failure in the face and whispered, "I will not stop." Let me ask you something today. What is your definition of a winner? Is it someone who stands on a podium holding a trophy with a crowd cheering them on? That's just the result. That's the visible part. The real winner is the one who stood up every time they fell, in silence, without applause, without a spotlight. The real winner is the one who battled storms in their mind, disappointments in their heart, and still walked on with their head held high. Winners rise through failure, not avoid it. This truth is often forgotten in a world obsessed with perfection and success. When people look at winners, they see the final result, the applause, the medals, the success stories, but they don't see the countless failures, the quiet battles, and the moments of despair that led to that success. Failure is not a detour on the road to winning. It is the road. Those who win do not escape failure. They walk through it. They stumble, they fall, and they get bruised, but they don't stay down. They learn, they adapt, and they stand again with more strength and more wisdom than before. This is what separates winners from those who give up. The mindset of a winner is built not in moments of glory, but in those dark hours when giving up seems easier, when everything feels like it's falling apart, and still they choose to persevere. Failure is not a sign of weakness, it's a sign of effort. It means you tried. It means you took a risk, stepped outside your comfort zone, and dared to chase something meaningful. Every successful person has a trail of failures behind them, and each one of those failures carries a lesson. The ones who reach the top are not the ones who never faced rejection, heartbreak, or defeat. They are the ones who refuse to let those things define them. They didn't run away from failure. They leaned into it. They used it as a mirror to reflect what needed to change, to grow, to evolve. Failure became their mentor, not their enemy. It gave them depth, resilience, and a strength that cannot be taught in any classroom or book. When a winner fails, they don't ask, "Why me?" They ask, "What now?" They don't blame circumstances or other people. They take responsibility for their growth. They understand that life isn't supposed to hand out victories easily. If it did, the value of winning would disappear. They know that the most meaningful victories are the ones that come after a series of losses, the kind that test your spirit, shake your foundation, and force you to rebuild yourself from within. And in that process of rebuilding, they find their true strength. It is not physical, it is not external. It is the kind of strength that whispers, even when you are broken, even when you are tired, this is not the end. Those who avoid failure at all costs also avoid growth. They remain in the shallow end of life, never daring to dive deep because they fear what might go wrong. But winners know that the deep end is where transformation happens. They understand that falling is not the opposite of rising. It is the first step toward it. Each failure is like a chisel shaping the stone of your character, carving out the rough edges, revealing the courage hidden beneath the surface. Through failure, winners build patience. Through failure, they build perspective. Through failure, they learn what truly matters, and what they are truly made of. Growth is born in discomfort, not ease. It is during moments of struggle, uncertainty, and pain that we are forced to stretch beyond our limits and discover parts of ourselves we never knew existed. Comfort zones feel safe, predictable, and warm, but nothing extraordinary ever grows there. When everything is going smoothly, when there are no obstacles, challenges, or doubts, the mind and heart remain still. They settle. But real growth requires movement, disruption, and resistance. Just like muscles need tension and weight to grow stronger, the human spirit needs challenge and pressure to evolve. Discomfort becomes the furnace in which strength, resilience, and clarity are forged. It pushes us to confront our fears, question our patterns, and find courage in places where we once saw only limitation. People often wish for a life without pain or hardship, thinking that would make them happy. But happiness born in comfort is fragile. It shatters the moment life becomes difficult. The kind of happiness that lasts, that endures through time and trials, is the one built on the foundation of growth through discomfort. When we are challenged, we are changed, and not just externally, but deep within. Discomfort strips away the masks we wear, the stories we tell ourselves, and reveals who we truly are. It exposes our insecurities, yes, but it also shows us our potential. It forces us to adapt, to become resourceful, to tap into an inner power that comfort would have never asked us to find. Think about the moments in your life that shaped you the most. Were they easy? Were they wrapped in luxury and ease? Or were they the moments when everything seemed to be falling apart, when you had to make hard choices, when you had to pick yourself up after being broken? It is in those moments of struggle that character is built. Growth is not linear. It is messy, painful, and sometimes even lonely. But every difficult step forward is a step toward becoming more grounded, more aware, more alive. The most powerful lessons are hidden in the moments when we feel lost, confused, or overwhelmed. And the ones who understand this don't run away from discomfort. They lean into it. They listen to what it is trying to teach them. Discomfort teaches humility. It teaches patience. It reveals the truth about our values and priorities. It shakes our illusions and wakes us up to what really matters. And perhaps most importantly, it connects us with others in a more real and human way. When we go through hard times, we begin to understand the pain of others. We become softer, more compassionate, more open. And in that space of shared struggle, real connection and empathy are born. We stop pretending to be perfect and start allowing ourselves to be real. Growth that comes through discomfort does not just make us stronger. It makes us deeper, wiser, more human in the truest sense of the word. It asks us not to escape the fire, but to walk through it and trust that on the other side, we will emerge transformed. Inner strength is louder than outside applause. In a world that constantly encourages validation through likes, awards, and recognition, it is easy to forget that the most powerful form of strength does not make noise. It does not seek attention. It grows quietly like roots beneath the surface, deep, grounded, and unshakable. Inner strength is not dependent on who claps for you or who notices your effort. It comes from knowing who you are even when no one is watching. It comes from the courage to keep going when there is no reward in sight. Applause can be momentary, it fades, people forget. But the strength you build within yourself, through every moment of solitude, through every private struggle, remains with you. It becomes a part of you. It carries you when nothing else does. There are people who seem outwardly successful, who constantly chase approval and admiration, but inside they feel empty. Their strength is built on perception, not truth. And the moment the applause stops, so does their sense of worth. But the ones who carry real power do not rely on applause to keep moving. Their drive comes from a place far deeper. They have learned to clap for themselves in silence. They have learned to validate their journey without needing permission. They do not wait for the world to say, "Well done," before they feel worthy. They tell themselves, "I am proud of how far I've come," even when no one else says it. Inner strength is built in moments where you choose discipline over comfort. It grows each time you show up even when you don't feel like it, when you do the hard thing without expecting a medal. It grows when you stand for what's right even if it's unpopular, when you speak your truth even when your voice shakes. It grows when you choose kindness over revenge, forgiveness over bitterness, faith over fear. These moments rarely earn applause, but they shape the kind of strength that can't be taken away. It becomes part of your soul. It gives you the ability to rise again and again, regardless of how the world sees you. You don't need to be loud to be powerful. Some of the strongest people are the quietest. They've learned that their worth is not measured by how many people approve of them, but by how true they remain to themselves. Inner strength gives you peace when the world is chaotic. It grounds you when everything feels uncertain. It reminds you of your purpose when distractions try to pull you away. And above all, it gives you resilience, the ability to bend but not break, to be hurt but not defeated. When you stop chasing applause and start nurturing your inner world, you begin to live with a sense of freedom that no amount of external praise can match. You realize that applause is sweet but temporary, and strength built from within is what will sustain you through every storm, every silence, every unseen victory. Doubt is fuel, not a stop sign. It is easy to see doubt as a weakness, as something to be ashamed of or something that holds us back. But doubt, when seen through a different lens, can be a powerful force that pushes us forward. It challenges us to question, to refine, to grow. Doubt forces us to confront our insecurities, not to stay stuck in them, but to overcome them. It asks us to dig deeper, to strengthen our convictions, and to find clarity in the midst of confusion. When we face doubt, it means we are standing at the edge of something important, something meaningful, and standing on that edge, we have a choice to retreat or to leap forward into the unknown with courage and trust. Everyone who has ever achieved something remarkable has experienced doubt. It whispers in the back of the mind before every major decision, every big risk, every unfamiliar path. But winners do not let doubt paralyze them. They listen to it, understand it, and use it to prepare themselves better. Instead of avoiding doubt, they embrace it as part of the journey. They recognize that it is often a sign of growth, a signal that they are moving beyond what is comfortable and familiar. Doubt is not the enemy. It is a signal that something valuable lies ahead, and the discomfort it brings is simply part of the transformation. Using doubt as fuel means transforming it into questions that serve you. Instead of thinking, "What if I fail?" ask, "What if I learn something that changes everything?" Instead of saying, "I'm not good enough," ask, "How can I become better?" Winners don't pretend to be fearless. They acknowledge their doubt but refuse to let it define their decisions. They use it as a mirror reflecting areas that need more focus, more courage, more heart. And in doing so, they build a resilience that is not based on the absence of fear, but on the willingness to move forward despite it. Doubt also keeps us humble. It reminds us that we are always learning, always evolving. It prevents us from becoming complacent or arrogant. It forces us to continue improving, to stay curious, and to keep striving for more. It sharpens our intentions and helps us make wiser choices. People who never question themselves may appear confident on the outside, but their growth often stops where their comfort begins. Those who experience doubt and still move forward develop a deeper, more grounded kind of confidence, one that is tested, earned, and real. There will always be moments where you feel unsure, moments when the path ahead looks blurry or overwhelming. But in those moments, doubt can be the very thing that wakes up your potential. It can ignite a fire in you to prove something, not to the world but to yourself, that you are capable, that you are brave, that you are willing to take the next step even when you cannot see the full staircase. Doubt does not have to be a wall in your way. It can be the spark that lights your way forward, the very reason you dig deeper and rise higher than you thought possible. Winners compete with themselves, not others. In a world constantly comparing, measuring, and ranking everything, it's easy to get caught in the trap of trying to outshine someone else. From a young age, people are conditioned to compete with peers, at school, at work, even in their personal lives. But those with a winning mindset understand that true progress comes not from looking sideways, but from looking within. They know that comparing themselves to others is a distraction from real growth. The only competition that truly matters is the one between who they are today and who they were yesterday. This mindset creates a space for authentic development, free from envy, insecurity, and the need to impress. It allows winners to set goals that reflect their own values, not someone else's expectations. When you focus only on beating others, your energy is driven by external validation. You chase someone else's definition of success, and that can leave you feeling empty, even if you achieve what you thought you wanted. But when your goal is to become a better version of yourself, every step forward becomes meaningful. It doesn't matter how slow your progress feels. It doesn't matter if others are ahead. What matters is that you are moving forward on your own path with integrity and self-awareness. Winners wake up each day asking themselves how they can improve, not how they can be better than someone else, but how they can be better than they were the day before. This mindset creates mental freedom. It frees you from jealousy, from self-doubt that arises through comparison, and from the pressure to perform just to keep up. It shifts your focus from pleasing others to fulfilling your purpose. When you compete with yourself, your attention goes toward habits, discipline, and mindset. You begin to measure success by how much you've grown, how much you've learned, and how you responded to failure. You become your own benchmark, and in doing so, you unlock a deeper motivation, one that comes from within, one that doesn't fade with trends or opinions. Another powerful aspect of competing with yourself is that it builds consistency. You stop chasing quick wins and start building long-term excellence. You're not distracted by what others are doing, which gives you clarity. You stay focused on your own goals, your own lessons, your own timing. This internal focus fosters a healthier relationship with ambition, one that is grounded in self-respect rather than comparison. It allows you to celebrate others' success without feeling small. You no longer see someone else's achievement as a threat, but as a reminder that growth is possible for everyone. Winners know that real mastery doesn't come from being number one on a list. It comes from discipline, from self-reflection, and from quiet persistence. They understand that their true rival is their own past self. And when they improve upon that version of themselves, they win every single time, whether anyone else notices or not. That's what makes their success sustainable, meaningful, and deeply personal. Their eyes are not on the scoreboard. They are on the mirror, measuring how far they've come and how far they still want to go. The journey shapes the mindset, not the destination. Many people fixate on where they want to be, their goals, their dreams, their ultimate success, and they think reaching that destination will finally bring them peace, joy, or fulfillment. But those who truly understand the mindset of winners know that the destination is only a moment in time, a fleeting point on a much longer path. What really transforms a person is the road they travel to get there. It is the small steps, the detours, the stumbles, and the choices made every single day that build the kind of mindset capable of sustaining success. The process is where the growth happens. It is where discipline is formed, character is tested, and resilience is born. Every high and low, every success and setback adds a layer to your mindset, shaping not just what you achieve, but who you become in the process. People often dream of reaching the top without realizing that the person they are today may not yet be ready for that level. It is the journey that prepares them. It pushes them to evolve, to stretch beyond their limits, to confront fears and flaws. The destination might offer recognition, but the journey offers transformation. Those long hours of unseen effort, the rejections, the sacrifices, the failures, all of them carve out inner strength, clarity, and wisdom. The mindset of a winner is not built in moments of comfort or celebration. It is built when no one is watching, when the results haven't shown up yet, but the work continues anyway. That kind of persistence doesn't come from dreaming of the finish line. It comes from falling in love with the path. The journey also teaches patience. In a world of instant results and fast gratification, the process often feels slow and frustrating, but that very slowness is what makes it powerful. It forces you to develop endurance, to keep moving even when progress feels invisible. It teaches you to value each small victory and to stay grounded in your purpose. When you are focused only on the outcome, every delay feels like failure. But when you are tuned into the journey, every delay becomes a lesson, every challenge a teacher. Winners understand that shortcuts rob you of the strength that the long road builds. They choose the harder path, not because they enjoy the struggle, but because they know who they will become by walking it. The journey humbles you. It reveals your weaknesses and forces you to face them. It strips away ego and replaces it with gratitude. You begin to appreciate not just where you're going, but how far you've already come. You recognize that the mindset you're developing is more important than the prize you're chasing. That mindset, built through persistence, reflection, failure, and growth, becomes your true reward. It stays with you long after the applause fades, long after the goal is reached. It becomes the foundation for every future success, every new chapter, every challenge you will ever face again. The mindset shaped by the journey gives you the strength to begin again, to rise again, to dream again, no matter where life takes you next.